So in a relationship, when you're talking to your significant other, and I do this with Laura all the time, I let her know. I remind her. Because if you've ever been in an argument where you're guessing, there's a lot of guessing going on. When they're like, hey, you didn't pick up your trash. And you go, she fucking thinks I'm dirty. Like, you know what I mean? What do you mean? I shower every day. You didn't shower. You didn't shower one time a year ago, remember? And you argue, I'm so clean, you don't even shower. And then you go, that's not even what she meant. Right. Now you're in a whole other fucking thing. But it's hard because you do that. And it's your job as the person receiving the info to get over that. Mm-hmm. But to make it easier as the person giving the info, could I not anticipate that? Maybe not everything, right? But if I'm going to, and I just made that up, but let's say I'm going to talk to Laura, she fucking leaves the drawers open. I hate this shit because multiple reasons. Because I'm tall, her drawers are on the floor. I'm going to hit my shin on it one day. When we have kids one day, it's a hazard for kids.
Right.
I think about all these things. Plus, it takes one goddamn second to close your drawer. So when I come in the room, like the drawers are all swung like half open. She didn't close up. I'm like, oh, and I just close them, and it gets me mad. And I used to just tell her, like, you know what I mean? Like, close the goddamn drawer. Like, God damn it. Like, and she would just laugh. And so it's to the point now where I'm going to use that exact example. How do I approach that, right? Without letting her know? Because if I say you don't close drawers, she's going to remind me of all the things she does do.
Right.
And so, which she does do. And then I'm going to argue how stupid that is, and it's that goes nowhere. So instead, what would be a good way is letting her know, like, hey, can I talk to you real quick, right? Or is this a good moment? It is? Cool. Hey, I just want to let you know something. I think you're one of, like, the most organized people I know. And these are true. You don't ever want to lie. If she's not organized, don't say that. But she is. And she's also very clean. She has the best hygiene. She's way better hygiene than me. Specifically when I moved in, like when we first got together, like I'm a guy. My hygiene was bad. She helped me out. My hygiene's better. So I don't want her to think that. So I just let her know, like, hey, I think you're this. I think you're organized. I think you have this. And I think you're going to be a great mom one day. You do a lot of things to make this house safe.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed was that you leave the drawers open. And I think that could be a hazard. I might hit my shin on it, and it drives me crazy. Do you think you can close the drawers? It's way easier to say yes to that because I addressed the thing that you might argue.
Right.
Because I knew you might argue that. So if you were that person, it'd be very easy for you to go like, yeah, that's reasonable. I think I could try.
Yeah.
To me, I go, cool, that's it. Try. You're probably going to leave some fucking drawers open. But as long as you acknowledge that it's a real thing, don't make me feel crazy about it.
Right.
And then try. I'm cool with that. But I think people forget it's a really good technique in relationships. Let me address the things that I think might be issues.
Right.
And then talk. It's called prefacing. Let me preface my comments by letting you know what I know as facts, which is you're an amazing person. You always listen. And I think, you know, let's say there's a scenario where you weren't, you know what I mean? Laura wasn't listening to something when we're out at a club. She wasn't listening to me. And I felt like she was more excited to be with her friends than me. And I'm making this up. It's never happened. Probably happened, but I don't want to talk about it. Just kidding.
We won't say that.
But I could let her know that. Like, you know what I mean? I could preface my comments by saying, hey, I think you're a great partner. And you're obviously a good friend because you really take hanging out with your friends seriously. And I admire that. When you do that overly sometimes, I think you might forget about me and I'm just standing there while you're talking to your friends. So maybe just be more conscious and just look over and ask me how I'm doing. Or involve me in the conversation because I'm not good at interjecting myself. But if you bring me in, I could run with that.
Right.
She's way more likely to be like, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But if I didn't preface any of it, she would go like, you don't want me to hang out with my friends? So now you're jealous of my friends. And that whole thing. No.
It just brings up a whole different... Yeah, I think you're right.
Just address it all right away.
Oh,
what do you do if you're gonna give Ricky advice? Like, how do you approach it? Like, household stuff, whatever. Do you just say it?
Anything? I'm trying to think.
Like, while you're thinking about it, do you, let's say... You got one already?
Yes.
Go for it.
Because usually, well, okay, so you know how you guys used to work at
RDD?
RDD together.
Yes.
And she used to deal with numbers all the time.
With numbers?
Yeah, with, like, when she started, like, what was it, like, programming? When she moved from supervisor to the other part.
Oh, when I was there, she was supervisor.
Okay.
So I didn't know that. So when she moved to programming at one point?
I think so.
Okay. So that's coming up for the people that are listening. She was creating the surveys and the way the numbers add up to send back to the client. So if Xbox says, I want you to call people and tell me how many people play Xbox, and I come up with these 10 questions, the programmers design the questions in the scale of 1 to 10. How much do you play? What time of day do you play it at? Who do you play it with? So she was creating all that, right?
Right.
Okay.
So
a lot of numbers. You're right.
A lot of numbers. So whenever I start something like that, I'm like, so On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you
Do you
to
do that because you think she'll relate to it?
No. I honestly, it just came up and she's like, God damn it, babe, I'm not at work. And I'm like, sorry, but it's just how I want to know.
Scale of 1 to 10 is pretty universal, though.
Yeah. So I was like, how likely are you to take the trash out in the morning?
Oh, that's
You know?
terrible.
So-
That's passive aggressive as fuck. Just ask her, hey, take your shit out. Like, you fucking
You know, but that's how I started initially. Initially, that's how I started. I was like, okay, maybe I was trying to, like, relate, you know?
Maybe.
But on a scale of 1 to 10. But now, like, we do bring it, like, sometimes it happened earlier because she talked about the screwball.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, you have Jack at home. And I'm like, we've had that bottle of Jack for, like, months now.
Yeah.
You know, and you know how when you drink something so much that you just get tired of it, or you get too
You just want to
drunk
try something different.
yeah,
Yeah.
or you get too drunk off of it and you don't even want to think about it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Jack. So we've had this bottle of Jack for a while now, and she's been trying, like, we've been to several parties. We took it to your party.
Mm-hmm.
It's been there since. Excuse me. We took it to another party and then New Year's, and it's still there. Like,
Really?
It hasn't been, like, nobody's taken a drink out of it. Anyway, so she's like, so you have that, you can take that with you. And I'm like, I don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it. I was like, I'm not into Jack right now. Like, that's it. And now, like, hindsight, okay, I probably did blow up on her.
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, you could have just said that. I was like, but you've brought it up the past 5 times that we've gone out. Like, we've been to 5 different parties. I brought the bottle with us, and it brings back the bottle the same way. So I've said it before. I don't want it. And then she's like, this happened because you didn't tell me before. And I'm just like, oh my God.
But is she right?
No, well, maybe I didn't.
Did you ever
her.
tell Ricky, I don't want this bottle of Jack? Or did you think it's obvious because you've asked 5 times and I obviously don't want it?
So the last time she brought it up, I was like, I'm just not feeling Jack.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought that was enough. You know, saying
That's not enough.
fuck.
I'm just being honest here. I'm just being honest how I feel. In that same situation, I would think she just doesn't want it right now.
Yeah, okay, so maybe I was wrong. So then on her way home, she's like, you have that. I was like, I don't want it. Like, stop
You're
pushing
being
it.
a brat. She's looking out for you, reminding you of an opportunity. I'm just calling you out.
No,
Does that word
and,
bother
and
you?
maybe, no.
I'm not trying to be rude.
No,
at all,
you're
by the way.
fine. No, and maybe it should have been, and she did say, she's like, maybe you should have been more clear. And I'm like, well, maybe you should have listened to me a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, whatever. And then she started talking about the weather. So she got over it. But when we bring stuff up, like, I feel like I tend to just, like, ramble.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, giving her advice or, like, telling her, like, I think you should do this. No, I just, like, word vomit. I don't have a filter to be like, let me have a conversation with you.
Well, you don't have one because you're saying you don't have one. If you said, I have one, or I'm trying to have one, then maybe you will do your old thing for a while. But the whole point is, let me put in a seed in my head that I could do something different and try it once.
Right.
And you're going to fail a lot. That's part of doing it, right? But, like, having the thought, like, how could I calmly, like... And it's funny, I'm calling you out on this, but I'm guilty of that. I do that all the time. And it's a common thing where we go, you must know what I mean.
Right.
In relationships, it's a common thing. I made it pretty clear several times that I don't like watching the Kardashians. How did I do that? Because every time I came home, I said, what are you doing? And she was like, watching the Kardashians. And I went, oh, this fucking show. So she should know I don't want to watch the Kardashians.
Right.
So when I come home after a long day of work and I'm eating and she goes, what do you want to watch? Or I go, what do you want to watch? And she says, how about the Kardashians? I go, are you fucking serious? You know I don't like that show. In reality, I think she should know that.
Right.
But the better version of that is just to go like, hey, I really don't like that show. Can we watch something else?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all
but
it
it's
takes.
offensive to know, why don't you know that I know that you know? Like, and it's normal to do that, by the way. But on that specific one you're talking about, you probably owe her an apology. And then let her know, like, hey, I thought you knew because I made it pretty apparent the last 5 times I didn't want it. But just say what you want sometimes.
People read between the lines all the time.
And that's a bonus. If she gets it right, then go, thanks. You got extra credit. Because she's not required to do that.
No,
But
obviously.
when she does, go like, wow, I got an amazing wife here.
Yeah.
I was about to say girlfriend.
Oh.
I have an amazing wife here that figured something out that she's not required to figure
Right.
out. But what it is when that happens, people go like, oh, well, that's just how you do it now. Because you're so good. That's not the thing. It's the same thing with me. Mm-hmm. It's not Laura's job. Because if I do figure it out, or if she figures something out, if she figured out that I don't like the Kardashians, she doesn't have to keep doing that. She did something nice for me. Where when I act like a jackass, she can go like, oh, I know that he doesn't like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why he's acting like this. That's a bonus. She doesn't owe me that.
Right.
What she deserves and what I owe her is going, hey, this is how I feel. Mm-hmm. With maybe you know it, maybe you don't. And so that's the same scenario. And it's hard to do that. And I'm saying that as someone who fucks it up daily. But I at least intend to go. Laura's touchy. So she touches a lot, right? She's a hand holder when we go out, which is fine. I love holding hands. I love cuddling. I love all that stuff. But she's so affectionate that I could be playing a video game and she'll like fuck with my face.
Oh.
She's like, your nose and your face and your kissing and temples. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm watching a game. This isn't even fun. Like, what are you getting from this? Like, or sometimes she'll try to hold my hand while I'm playing a game.
Oh.
And I'm like, what do you expect me to play with one hand? Like, what do you like? Do you not know that I need two hands? Like, that's my attitude.
Right.
And trust me, I very recently have done that.
Oh.
But when I can stop afterwards and think about it, I'm like, she wants to be affectionate.
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard? I'm allowed to tell her how I feel about it without reacting and being negative. I should go, hey, stop. Like, that's silly. I need both hands. Like, do you need some affection right now? Swear to God, on the next pause in this game, when it's over, like, I'm giving you the biggest fucking hug in the world.
Yeah.
Like, and she goes, thanks. Like, and it's just like, I could do that. It solves the same problem.
Right.
And my issue isn't that she's being affectionate. My issue is that she's being affectionate in a moment it's not convenient for me. It's inconvenient. So that's the hard part. And I'm using that one because it's personal to me. Mm-hmm. But whatever it is, just try to remember, if anyone's listening, try to remember, is what I'm doing right now, this goes back to the whole thing we talked about earlier, is this going to change their life?
Right.
And if it's not, then you're wasting your fucking time. And as someone like me who talked about how valuable time is, it doesn't mean give that idea up. Find a way to make better use of that time. I really want her to stop touching my hands when I'm playing video games. Is yelling at her going to get that done?
Nope.
No. But maybe explaining it, being compassionate, talking. Either way, I deserve to not have my hands touched. She deserves to have affection.
Right.
Let's figure it out. And whatever the thing is like, how is this communication going to work better? Let's figure out the way. And you're going to fail tons of times. But if your mentality is yelling at this bar hop or who's the table person that walks to your table because they called my wife a guy or sir,
right,
is yelling at them, you will not treat us like that, this is a woman, she's the greatest woman. Like, is that going to change this person's life, or is he probably going to do it again the next time he's confused? Probably going to do it again.
Yeah.
So how about be compassionate and just still voice my opinion, you know what I mean, but
right,
be in a way where like that person goes like, wow, I was kind of rude on accident and they were nice about it. Damn, like I think
does
I
make
owe
a bigger difference.
I owe it to them to really look into this.
Right.
I feel like I just ranted.
No.
Damn.
No.
If you guys enjoyed that clip, click on this icon over here if you want to subscribe to the Clips channel. Click on this icon over here if you want to view the entire podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to that channel as well. See you next time.